Today we are returning to the Ace Files series where I invite 3 sticks to watch the same dogfight and give their candid reactions. This is focused on commentary, less narration. The idea here is that you will get to hear what 3 different people think about the same fight. What are they all seeing? What are they seeing differently? How would they approach it? And then you can contrast this curated commentary to your own thoughts. These fights are not staged or happening in a sterile, controlled environment. They are happening in the wild, on public servers. These should act as good examples to take away actionable learnings to use in your own gameplay. If this is your first time here, this channel focuses on multiplayer sim gameplay, so if you're into that, please subscribe. Let's meet our guests. The first one I will introduce, who is Davey, aka Davey Wavy Boo. If you are part of the DCS Kolovar scene, you know him. But if not, he started playing flight sims in 2019 and fell in love with the MiG-21. He is also first in line for the MiG-17 when it comes into the game, and he's a very good stick.
Hey guys, CrazyGman here. So, I've seen a couple of these that Enigma has done, and I always thought they were really cool, and so I really wanted to comment on one myself, and Enigma gave me the opportunity this time around to comment on one of these dogfights. So, if you don't know who I am, CrazyGman, I have my YouTube channel, CrazyGman Sim Stuff, and you'll see me as Beard11, usually on Enigma's Kolovar server. So, I've been flying flight sims now for about, I think, 4 or 5 years. I started off with IL-2 Sturmovik. I guess technically I started with Chuck Yeager's Air Combat way back when I was in my teens when it came on 5.5-inch floppies, but took a long break between flight sims in between that, and then got hooked again with IL-2 Sturmovik, and I bit the bullet to go back into flight sims, and then on to DCS, where the MiG-21 was my first jet that I purchased. Predominantly I do fly Cold War planes the most.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Tricker, and today we're going to be doing an analysis on one of Enigma's dogfights against an F1 Mirage. He's on his own Enigma Cold War server. If you don't know me, my name's Tricker. I have a YouTube, Twitch account. I'm a real-world professional pilot. I like long walks on the beach. Usually pretty comfortable on all the Cold War aircraft. So today we are reviewing one of Enigma's fights here.
So you can see right now, I'm looking at how he's set up right now. So he's at 26,000 feet, so pretty good altitude. His fuel state, his left and right tank are balanced, so...
There's F1 nails, and he's very close.
And he is diving at the moment for this F1 Mirage.
Diving down, he's going to call out for Mirage at just slightly below him at 23,000 feet. So right now, he's currently, I believe, trying to pick him out, trying to find him.
Gotta be real careful here, because if you get your speed above 500 knots and you pull hard on that stick, you know, say goodbye to your wings.
Probably a good decision getting off of his nose, since you can't find him.
So you gotta be real careful going this fast on the F5. So it looks like the Mirage and Enigma see each other, turn back around to reset.
Enigma picks him up pretty early. It's one of the advantages of the F5. One of the problems with the Mirage is it does have some blind spots due to bars on the canopy.
I would have avoided going straight into the vertical, because he's got a lot more energy than you, most likely.
Enigma goes ahead and arms his AIM-9 Papas. He doesn't have the P5s, so the Papas are rear aspect only.
The Mirage hasn't quite spotted him, though I'm sure the Mirage has gotten probably a call out from Overlord or...
Mirage is cold right now, flying away. He's extremely fast.
So Enigma's just trying to pull his nose around right now, get his nose on target, and he's trying to set up for...
Now in this case right here, this is kind of a far missile shot. I would not take...
And this shot will never reach.
That's an extremely far shot. Now if it was me, I would go ahead and lock him up in dogfight forward or the missile mode, and you'll get a little tick mark on your pipper to let you know if he's in range. So I use that quite often because targets are cold.
One of the problems with the F5 right now is that if you do look in the sun, you zoom in, you get all of this cracks that are on the canopy that really kind of distract you sometimes, so it's sometimes a little bit hard to follow.
Never take a shot right here, especially against the sun.
Right now, the Mirage is now picking up speed as it's diving down, and I don't think it spots Enigma just yet, or if it does, he's just driving down to get some speed, and so Enigma decides to kind of follow suit.
It's a good position to be in. I would have tried to remain in the horizontal, but you know, you're still on his 6, so...
Mirage definitely sees Enigma.
Pulling a lot of AO8s, pulling a lot of G, and it is slowing him down a lot, so he's carrying a little bit less speed in this than the Mirage is currently. And now Enigma kind of points his nose down just to get a little bit more speed back.
You need to get your nose down, get a little bit more speed back up. He's starting to rate you pretty quickly right now. Well, he was. I'm not really quite sure why he went down into the vertical.
Mirage is doing its best to keep itself pretty fast, which is smart, but we are losing altitude, and the Mirage doesn't really have a huge crazy thrust to weight advantage.
So a good little move here by the Mirage. It's pulling really hard. Enigma's getting under 300 knots. It's usually my golden rule. Don't get under 300 knots in the F5 or else you're going to have a real hard time gaining your airspeed back.
You're using your nose authority to good effect here.
So right now, you know, Enigma's just trying to keep him, threatening him with his nose, but these turns are bleeding a lot of speed.
So he's under 300 knots.
If the Mirage was smart, he would stop playing the vertical game with you right here and then immediately go into the right fight.
The F5 can really pull that nose around though if you get slow. So I would have extended a little bit here if it was me, just to try to get that speed back. I'd really want that speed.
Kind of neutral, but Enigma's quite slow.
Pretty much an equal fight at the moment.
It seems like you're struggling, and it seems like he's doing fine, but really, if you're going to the cockpit of your opponent, his cockpit's also shaking.
So Enigma's at 250 knots. You can really tell sometimes because the F5 will start shaking.
At this point, I'd be looking for a way to dip into one of these valleys and extend.
Just trying to kind of keep that Mirage in sight. Both of them are fairly slow.
If he continues this turn up, you're never going to be able to get a missile shot.
And right now it's really hard.
Doing a pretty good job actually, flying pretty slow. But you don't want to be slow again against these mountains. That's a big no-no.
You're doing a good job keeping your nose on him. You're just not regaining any energy. You're not at corner speed.
It's really hard when you're in this kind of situation. He's almost there. You don't like him kind of moving ahead of you, which is what the Mirage is currently doing. You have to kind of straighten out and build back your speed.
Alright, so you used off a bit to get some more energy, which is good.
Which is really hard to do psychologically when you're in this kind of situation, because all you just see is you see the enemy moving further around the circle and moving in behind you.
There you go, getting that speed back up. Once you have that speed in the F5, you feel a lot more comfortable.
I think you waited too long to do so. It does look like he's starting to outrate you now pretty handily.
The Mirage is kind of closer to its 400 knots ideal turn rate. Slightly higher, I think usually 425 is where I find it's pretty nice. Somewhere between that, 425 is pretty good. So Enigma's now, you know, realizing that this isn't going to work. This turn fight isn't going to end in his favor. He's just going to present a good target if he keeps doing this turn. So now he's got to kind of shake things up a little bit. And now he's going to basically try to make himself hard to hit and try to force an overshoot.
Alright, so the Mirage is coming around on his 6 right now. And again, the Mirage doesn't really do well at slow airspeed, so what I would try to do is keep the pull going and then force the overshoot.
So what he is doing is smart. You're using your nose authority to good effect here to keep you off of his nose.
And usually you want to end this fight quickly because maybe somebody is coming in to try to interfere. So it's pretty easy to do an overshoot. So a lot of times what you can do is you can force an overshoot by just getting yourself really slow.
So Enigma putting out just a couple flares in case of a missile shot. Here comes the
Mirage just came in way too hot and drastically overshot.
And definitely overshoots.
A good overshoot.
Enigma does a nice little move there.
He overshoot a lot very, very, very badly, and now he's trying to bleed speed to not extend so far so he won't get missile shot.
Now this is a... Man, I would not do that move right there. But that was a very risky move right there. If you got really slow, stalled, and then crashed to the ground, that would have been bad news.
And see, what the Mirage does here is really stupid. He continues to try and reverse in front of you. If he was smart, he would stick the nose down right here and immediately turn into the right fight again. But instead, he reverses right in front of your nose.
And I think was just taking advantage now, firing some shots, which are good. Even if you're not going to get accurate shots, distracting your opponent and kind of making him worry is always good. Right now, this Mirage is trying to outclimb him, but he just doesn't have... You know, Enigma's way too close and just sets him up. He gets basically standing still right there. Enigma takes a good shot and pretty much finishes him off. So, like, it's a classic, you know, take advantage of the overshoot, get advantage of your opponent who thinks he's got it kind of won and then wants to finish it quickly and then quickly use that against them.
You know, so overall a great fight by Enigma. Ended up getting the kill in the end. Just remember to keep that speed up. Try not to get under 300 knots. If you get under 300 knots, it takes a long time for the F5 to gain that speed back. And the other reason I don't like to get slow is because if you get third-partied by somebody else and you're already slow, you can't defend. So I try to keep that speed there as a buffer if I need to defend from third parties.
So overall, not too bad of a fight. There were a few mistakes. The missile was fired out of parameters, which which is a pretty easy mistake to fix. The one big mistake that could have cost you the fight very easily was at the beginning of the actual merge, is when you tried to get the nose around on him as fast as possible, and that bled all of your energy that you had really, and you were forced to basically keep your nose pointed on him for almost the remainder of the entire fight in order to keep him off of your 6. the problem was that once you're out of energy with the F5, it's very difficult to get back. I think there are a few times that you probably could have dipped into a valley and gotten away, possibly, but that also, puts you into a dangerous situation. If he sees you dip into the valley, if he can get his nose around on you fast enough, you may not be able to regain that energy in time, and he, obviously has a missile shot on you. So, just something to keep in mind. If you're starting to lose a fight and you have a way to escape, I would recommend taking it. But the Mirage played his cards pretty well for most of that fight. He was patient up until the point that he got up on your 6, and he kept way too much of his energy. He came around way too quickly, and you used your nose authority to great advantage, forced his overshoot, and then he decided to reverse in front of you 3 times, I think, which was very stupid. As soon as he overshot, he basically should have dipped his nose a bit and got immediately back into the rate fight. So, you use your nose authority. He played your game, and he lost because of it. So, overall a decent fight. There's some things to work on, but, pretty easily remedied.
Before I give you my side and my reaction, I would like to thank Davey, Crazy Gman, and Tricker for commenting. These videos are only possible when people are willing to take the time out of their day to comment, so please check out their YouTube and Twitch streams. They are really good sticks and can offer some lessons to be learned. My general reaction to the fight and the commentary is that managing speed is really important. This fight may not have looked like it, but it started off in a panic. I did not have my tripwire set, and when I turned it on, I had a Mirage within 7 nautical miles of me. I did not have P5s, but only P missiles, and I immediately was worried that I would eat a R530 EM. I split S and dove hard, and I had to be careful not to maneuver as I would break my wings because I was over 500 knots. The energy situation ended up neutralizing pretty quickly as we went into a horizontal turn and burn situation. I was unable to end the fight quickly because I couldn't get my nose on target to give my last missile a good chance of hitting. This led into me losing too much energy, and I began to lose the rate. As Tricker mentioned, 300 knots is where he typically does not like to go below in the F5, and I was far below that. As Davey mentioned, easing up on the stick and to build up speed and to try to take a different approach of the fight is what really started to shift things around. While extending, the Mirage barreled right in for me, but did not manage his speed, and as Crazy Gman pointed, this allowed for a pretty textbook overshoot scenario. The nose authority on the F5 is one of the most appealing things about the plane, and it really allows for good scissors. I really see a lot of people just stick to the infinite circle and they end up getting outrated and die a slow death. You could do something else besides just flat turning. I hope this video gives some actionable steps and learnings for people to think about as they approach the dogfights they find themselves in. These videos are some of my favorite that we do here on the channel, even though they are some of the hardest to make. So I would really be interested in hearing what you took away from everyone's commentary. If you like this video and would like to see more like this, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe, as it is the best way to help this channel. Thank you, and see you online.